the first kind of real shopping mall which was built in Split. I just looked it up on the 15 minutes walk from the city. It was actually built in 2007. It's maybe something like 60-70% of the shops you would more or less find in all three of them, and then each of them have some shops which is not in the other ones. Going to a mall on a rainy day in the summer, I can guarantee you 90% of all tourists which are in this area are gonna go to a mall when it rains. So it's gonna be very packed and it's impossible to park the car. Hi everybody, today we are gonna give you a small tour around Split in terms of where you can do shopping of various things. And the first place we're gonna start is on what we call the Pasar, the green market, which is located basically at the end of the river near the old town. So we're gonna show you what you find here in the morning. It's very easy to get to this place no matter where you live in Split, because just around the corner is one of the main hub for the city buses. So if you go into the center by a bus, you're gonna be dropped up here, otherwise you can easily walk to here from any part of the city. Anyway, let's go and have a look. As I said, this is the main market, but each neighborhood of the bigger neighborhoods in Split actually have small green markets in the neighborhood. So if you live a bit further from the center, you can probably find one which is way closer where you can get your vegetables. As you see, they also have other stuff than vegetables. There's honey, olive oil, here's wine. Wow. And lots of the stuff, the vegetable you would find around is actually local produced. So depending on the time of the year, you will have various things which are currently in season. In May you have a lot of strawberries, later you have cherries, etc., etc. Okay, I think even we are a bit late. I think this part, I don't know, it's already empty, some part of it, so let's go this way instead. Another place to take fresh water. But they really changed this part recently, I think.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot of tables around here and a lot of vegetables here, but it seems like they moved that around.
Yeah, I think they changed it like a year ago when they built these new...
The new houses down here, yeah. So down here it seems mainly to be fruit, so probably vegetables was in the other direction. But in general you can find anything in terms of fruit in season here, and of course you can also find anything you would need for if you're going to make a salad at home. All kinds of vegetables are also available here. So this is the general thing and the main thing why we would go to the market. I think this one opens probably around 6 o'clock in the morning during the summer season, and a bit later when we get to the winter. And I think more or less the same apply to the ones in the different neighborhoods. And if you need to buy some flowers, this is also a good place. You have flower shops up here. And the rest of the market actually used to be, or is still, you have a lot of souvenir shops down here in the corner. They used to be also all the way up the wall, but they removed them now because they want to renovate this, bring this back in a nice condition. So basically this is what's left, and they changed how the houses and how the stands are looking, so it looks more unified now. Before it was a little bit chaotic, some of it, but now it's made in a decent way. Anyway, let's continue to other places to shop in Split. On the Riva itself, there's not that many shopping options, but you have especially a few smaller jewelries, and you have opticians where you can buy, or mostly opticians selling sunglasses, and that's more or less what's left down here on the Riva, and it's mainly in this area here. Most of the other shops, which used to be here, are now turned into restaurants. So the main shopping street in Split is called Mamontova. We are now going to have a walk up that one, so you can basically see what's available there. But also over the last many years, the types of shops has more changed towards fast food, this kind of shop. There's not as many clothes shops and these kind of things as we used to have before. You can still find clothes, another optician, and here's an interesting shop. Aura. This is a company from Istria who's producing different types of spirits. They have some really good stuff, so if you are in Split and you like to have a taste of this, I highly recommend you to try it out. You can get very small bottles just to have a taste of it. Maybe 5 years back or further, there used to be tables out here, and this was fish market outside in the morning, also starting very early, 6-7 o'clock. Now all of this has moved into the Ribarnica inside here. It also used to be in there, but basically most of the selling before was outside. Now you actually have to go in here. And here you can find all kinds of fish. Shrimps. Nice shrimps. Squid. So if you feel like doing some nice cooking at your flat here, you know, this is definitely a place to pick up fresh food. I think you can also, if you buy fish, you can also have them made into fillets here. So you don't have to worry about cleaning the fish when you get back home. Anyway, now we're going to turn around, go back to Mamontova. So in general, if you want something from these markets and also the fish market, oh, somebody's feeding the seagulls. Oi.
What's that, sir?
No, personally, I think if you want to visit these, some of these, either the fish market or the pasar in the morning to buy some vegetables, I think it's really nice getting in here early in the morning. The temperature is not as dramatic as during the day, and you simply have the nicest lineup when you come early in the morning. So definitely, I would recommend that. Of course, if you walk any of the side streets, you will find shops in the side streets everywhere. And here's basically the main shop at Mamontova, a huge Zara, covering I think 3 floors here.
Yeah.
So pretty big one. I think maybe around 15 years back we didn't have any real shopping malls in Split. So it looked completely different here in the center. This was basically here where you went to find a lot of shops, but as the first shopping mall opened, it has gradually changed everything, and now we have 3 of them, which you will see we are going to visit today. But you still have a few smaller kind of shopping mall left over from that time. One of them is over here, the building which you see with the black and gray or brown. In there you find a few shops, but it's not, you know, a real bigger mall. We're going to visit them separately today. We are still on the way to the first reel of the new shopping malls, but I just remember on the way in this building here called Dobry. This was the first place I actually had an office when I moved to Split, but this actually also used to be a shopping mall where you had ground floor, the basement, and the first floor was full with small shops. This has all changed. There's still some shops here, but now it's mainly, everything is mainly offices, the majority of the part, but still you find a few mainly closed shops in here. Good, let's continue to the Joker Mall. So now we made it to Joker, the first kind of real shopping mall which was built in Split. I just looked it up on the 15 minutes walk from the city. It was actually built in 2007. So that was basically the start of changing the whole way shopping was done in Split. You know, companies moving out from the center going into the mall. This was basically the start of it. But anyway, let's go have a look at it. As you can see here in front, there's some parking. There's a parking basement here, and on the back side of the building there's also 2 large parking. So you should, on most days, except if it's raining, you should be able to find a place to park. And if you come with a bus, basically to the left of me up here, behind those buildings, most of the buses from the city center stops up in this area, so you can easily get here by bus also, or at the end up here there's also some bus stops. So it's really easy to get to, and as I said, we walked out from the center. It took us 15 minutes. You can basically enter the building on all 4 sides, so you don't have to take this entrance like we are doing now. Well, one thing I just love by shopping malls is the temperature. So when you come from outside with 35 degrees, it just feels nice walking in here. I'm not going to go in detail with all the shops because most of the brands you see here is brands you know from anywhere around Europe. They basically also started coming to Croatia around about the time when Joker was built. You started getting brands like Miller, you have DM, you have lots of larger German companies started getting into Croatia, and now you would find them everywhere around. So we're going to post on our website, we're going to post a complete list of all the shops in all the shopping malls. So if you're looking for something specific, you can simply look it up the website and see where to find it in Split. So of course you have a McDonald's like in any shopping mall, and you have a supermarket on the ground floor. I think that applies to all the malls. We're going to see with the other ones, and then you have various places where you can sit for a coffee. Pretty much the same in most of them. But let's go upstairs and see what's there. Easy navigation around the mall, where you can see where to locate different shops, and nicely they categorized it: sport, technical stuff, electronics. So it should be pretty easy to figure out where you could locate a specific shop. If you're looking to buy presents, also lots of, especially if you want to buy something which is produced in Croatia, Delicia has a lot of these products, and you will find their shops in several places around the city, and basically in general in most larger cities. They really have some interesting stuff, a bit more expensive, but if it's for presents and stuff, then definitely that's a good place to go. And you have in all the malls, they have one place where they would locate all the ATMs. And these are all what I call the good ATMs. That's all from the bank. So here you can safely take out some cash. Here we have our CineStar cinema. So if you want to stay out of the sun one evening, go and watch a movie, this is one place you can do it. Galileo is a clothes brand which is actually made in Croatia, so if you want to take something home which you can't find in your native country, then this is a good place to go and have a look. Oh, I didn't see this one.
I think this is new, huh?
Yeah, this is new. Cakes, ice cream. Nice, nice, nice. So I had a lot of people asking me about electronic stuff, where they can get chargers, etc., etc. Here, links in this mall. This is a good place to go. You would find more or less everything you would need, which, you know, replacement stuff. And the other malls also have a similar shop, not necessarily this brand, but in each of the bigger malls, you have one larger electronic shop where you can buy these spare parts. If you should have lost a charger or a cable is broken, it can be fixed. Of course, in Split, we are very proud of our football team, Hajduk. So if you want to buy a dress, this is one of the places you can do that. I always have some guests down here. He needs to have the latest new dress every time he comes. Also, sometime if I travel back to Denmark, he mails me, is there a new away dress which looks great? Can you please bring me that one? So I'm just waiting for them to make a shirt with my name on. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I think the fourth floor is one of the most interesting because, as you can see, there's a rooftop terrace. Of course, not necessarily here in the middle of the summer. It's maybe not the greatest place to be, but in the large part of the year where we really have nice sun and not too high temperatures, it's nice to be able to sit outside. And then different food places, Ali Kebab here. And of course Cevapcici, which you need to eat or try when you're in this region. I will make a video later, and then I will show you how Cevap is prepared, so you can also do it at home. I have been to several countries where they were actually selling something called Cevap, but it was not made in the right way. So we will definitely make a video showing you exactly which spices to put in, how you need to prepare Cevap, so you can make some great one at home on the barbecue. So here, nice place to sit outside. Maybe today it's a bit too hot to do it. I actually prefer inside. And when they made this originally, they put a pool on the roof. I think it was used at the beginning, but for some reason they figured out it was maybe not the best idea. So now we're going to continue our trip, and we're going to go to one of the other shopping malls. We're going to probably take a bus to to get out there, and then basically we will be back as soon as we are either at City Center or Mall of Split. Yeah, we are not yet at Mall, but so I thought I wanted to show you one additional thing. We are now leaving Joker, and you will see how easy it is to continue the trip if you want to visit other malls in Split. So basically we just walk up to the main road here, and then we're going to take one of the many buses which would take us to Mall of Split. And you also have, of course, buses here if you rather want to go to City Center directly from here. It's also possible. For Mall of Split, you have one special thing. There's a free bus going maybe 5-6 times a day. Usually it's a convertible bus, so it's kind of a sightseeing tour which you can take out there. That one leaves from somewhere near the ferry port. You will have to look up the timetable on their website to see exactly when it's the departure point, or the departure time. And here on the bus stop, you basically see the number of buses which departs from here. So you can easily follow it. And you also have a display up here, which would tell you how many minutes there is to the arrival of a certain bus. Anyway, I'm just going to show you. So you should Promet Split, which is the city bus company here in Split, you should download their app if you're in Split, because they made a really decent app and it works quite well. You can upload a bit of money on it. Now I have an e-wallet here with €4, and if I want to buy a ticket, I just buy a ticket, single ticket, and basically I select the area. So I need to select I'm traveling within Split, and basically you can see now it's €1, and I basically buy the ticket. And then I can open the ticket, and you see a QR code. This is very important because I need to activate the ticket as soon as I get on the bus. I'm going to show you that. But why is it a good idea to use the app? Because you only pay €1 for a ticket inside of Split. If you buy it on the bus, it's €2. So if you plan to travel a lot around bus, really take down the app. It's really easy. So here you see my code. And basically I would hold it under this, and you see it says card activated. So I would say there's parking enough, except if you are in Split in summer and it rains. Going to a mall on a rainy day in the summer, I can guarantee you 90% of all tourists which are in this area are gonna go to a mall when it rains. So it's gonna be very packed and it's impossible to park the car. This is the main entrance. I think you have one more or two more entrances, but as lots of people come by car, they simply enter using the elevators or escalators from the basement. I think we're gonna go upstairs here, and then we can take the ground floor later on. Again, like you saw in Joker, you have these information boards. There's also an information desk. I think maybe one or two around where you can simply ask where to find this shop, etc. I think they first made in City Center and also in Mall when Mall owned, was they made what they call a food corner. So you have lots of different types of food centered in one place with a lot of seating areas inside, and also a balcony so you can sit outside. So this is really used by a lot of people taking a shopping trip and then basically having some lunch, dinner out here in the shopping mall. Now we need to go this way. I didn't even see here. Did you see all the umbrellas they made? This seems to be a trend in lots of cities. I've seen this. So depending on where you park in the parking garage, because the parking garage is quite big, the different areas are have a certain color and also a name allocated to them. So basically keep an eye on the name. So for instance, now here, if we turn around here, we can see the sign up here. We are now at the parking area called vestibule. So if you know you park your car in the area where it's a purple color and it's called vestibule, then you should basically take the elevator from here or take the stairs down, and then you will land near your car. So also here in Mall we have a great cinema. And as far as I recall, I think it's each Wednesday is always cheap day for going to the cinema. So if you want to save a bit of money, then plan to go on Wednesdays. And this part you see down here, they actually use that for various events. So for instance, in winter, they would put a place for ice skating here. So maybe, I don't know if it's visible on this map here, but you saw I mentioned we were before at the Vestibule Square, then you have Mardian Square where we are now, then you have Jadran Square and Piazza Square. So these are the things you should keep an eye on when you basically, this would be reflected in the parking basement also, so you can easily navigate around, especially when and that's quite helpful when there's lots of people out here. And in most, I think in all the malls, as far as I recall, if you have a smaller dog and stuff, you're actually allowed to bring the dogs. I'm not sure you can take them in the shop, but if you walk around here, it should be okay. Now we're gonna leave Mall of Split, and we are basically gonna exit on the main entrance, which was also where we came in. But maybe one thing which I forgot to mention when we arrived, basically this is the information desk. So if you have any questions when you enter, you can ask them immediately. You also have a display here where you can navigate around and find various where the different shops are located, and you have luggage storage. So if you are leaving Split, it's the last day, you need to go to the airport late and you want to spend the time in Mall of Split, you can actually go here with your luggage and leave it here, and then spend the hours shopping here before you head to the airport. Turns out that doing mall hopping with public transportation is not that easy, because there's simply not that many passengers. Probably it's not a common use case that people move with bus between the shopping malls. But anyway, we managed to catch our bus after waiting about 15-20 minutes. And now we are basically closing up to, now we're getting to city center. You can see it here on the left hand side. So if you come by car to city center, this would be one of the main entrances to the parking area. As opposed to Mall, City doesn't have a parking underneath the building, but have a huge parking house attached to the building on the other side. So you can actually park on each floor. So if you need to go to a shop which is on second floor, you know about that, you can just park on second floor and walk directly in there, which is something I find kind of neat and time saving if you're a bit in a hurry. Another thing which is quite good to know is at the lowest level of the parking here at City, as well as also on Mall, you actually have a car wash. So, which is not a self-service, it's basically people working there. So you will go there and leave the car, And if there's time, they will basically tell you if they have time to fix your car or clean your car. They will tell you pick it up in 2 hours, and when you get back in 2 hours, you have a car which is clean outside as well as inside. So if you are on holiday and the car got a bit dirty from driving down here, this you can, for about, I think it's about 20 euro, you can get a super clean car. So really recommendable, but it can be busy down there, so you might not be lucky that they have time for taking your car. At City Center in the parking garage, there's another interesting thing. They have actually a go-kart track down there. So if you're a family out here shopping and not everybody is as keen at looking at shops, you know, you can send those people, that part of the family down on the lower level of the parking, and they can do some go-kart racing. So everybody's gonna end up happy. And over here we have a shop which is very unique to the city center. We actually have an IKEA showroom, and down in the basement you have another part of IKEA also. This is basically where if you order furnitures and you select that you're going to pick them up at the Dostava center of IKEA, that's basically delivery center. It's in the basement down here, and so you can go close with the car. And of course, as a Scandinavian living here in Croatia, what I miss the most from IKEA is their food products. But of course, they don't sell them split. This is some part they recently redid. There used to be a regular shop here, but now they made, I don't know what you would call it, you know, they made more specialty shops where you can get some really nice products. Delicatess. Fish, meat. This is also something which was recently opened. You actually have a cheese and deli, so here you would find lots of the cheese which Croatia is famous for. So and I think there's the first Wednesday, as far as I recall, in each month. Usually in city center they have some discounts. So lots of the shops would give you 20%, even more on specific items. Sometimes, depending on the time of the year, would be more or less on everything they have in the shop. And usually it's you will see it on the website of the city center. They would announce which shops are participating and what discount they are offering. But I think it's first Wednesday of the month.
It's either first, it's branded as Yellow Wednesday.
Yellow Wednesday, yeah, that's the thing, yeah. No, and maybe the overlap, if you look at the 3 different malls, the overlap between the shops is maybe something like 60-70% of the shops you will more or less find in all 3 of them, and then each of them have some shops which is not in the other ones. And that's why, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to post a full list on our website, so you can simply check depending on which brand you are looking for, or shop brand. You would see in which mall to find it. And then like Mall of Split, also here in City, as I mentioned, this was actually the first food corner or food court which was opened here in Split. So you have, I think, maybe 8-9 restaurants here: Ali Kebab, Chinese food, Chewab, McDonald's, Biberon. And if you need, if you're celebrating a birthday or something while you're in Croatia, in this shop down here, Smile T-shirt, you can make any custom-made T-shirt You can make mocks or anything like that with printed pictures on. So if you want to make something neat with some good holiday picture, this is the place to do it. Yeah, and like in mall, here you also have navigation display, easy way of looking up where to find your favorite shop. And again, nicely sorted by fashion, jewelry, so when you know what you're looking for, you should be able to find it very fast. And as you saw, I mentioned down in the basement of the parking, there's go-karting. And if the kids need a break from their parents, they are allowed to go here, no adults allowed. And you get a number, and basically you can leave your kid there for playing around. And I think the same is available also in Mall of Split. That's basically it. I think now we have seen all malls in Split. I hope you enjoyed going around with us to get an idea what you can expect if you are gonna come to Split. Please, check our website if you want more information. As I mentioned several times, we're gonna provide all information about all the malls, so you know exactly where to find specific shops. And besides that, I can only say till the next one.